Right, hi there all and welcome back to the channel. So in today's episode we're trying something a little bit new, a new series, Battlefield 4 Tactician. Now I might work on the name, but the basic premise of the series is I'm going to help you win more games, place higher on the scoreboards in Battlefield 4 and hopefully come out with more kills. Now I appreciate many of you will be new to the channel and be wondering, well, I've just stumbled across this random channel. How do I know this guy's any good at Battlefield? So I thought I'd put up some highlights of the game footage you're about to embark on watching, so you have some idea that this isn't a complete waste of your time and there are some good moments to analyse. In addition, for those who really drive a hard bargain, I'm going to show you my stats on screen now, just to be completely transparent about my skill level. Now, I'm not the best, but I do have quite a high score per minute, so I'm quite an objective player. I like to play the objective. Now my KD isn't bad, but it isn't like over 2 or 2.5, whereas I think where I really excel is capturing objectives and winning more games. As you can see, I win more games than I lose. If that's how you like to play Battlefield, fantastic. I hope you can join me on this journey. For those who are looking for really high kill players that can just melt people and don't really play the objective, maybe these tips and tricks won't be so much for you. But without further ado, let's just jump into the analysis. Oh my god, this LAV is driving me up the fucking wall. So as you probably saw from the intro, we're playing Conquest on Sunken Dragon. And right off the bat, we have had a terrible start. They've managed to capture all of the objectives bar A. Now, you'll find with Conquest, the best use of your time is capturing objectives. So what's going through my head in this scenario is C is a little bit of a clusterfuck. Everybody's rushing C because it's the middle objective. So in my mind, the path of least resistance is going for one of their spawn objectives D or E. One, I think there's going to be less enemies there, and two, the enemies that are there aren't really going to be expecting people to be pushing up on them. And I think this leads nicely into tip number 1, that flanking will produce short-term losses for long-term gains in terms of your score and kills. The kills will come because the enemy won't be expecting you to push up on them, making it easier to get higher kill gains, and the score inevitably comes from capturing those objectives. I think this can't be highlighted more or emphasised more than on Operation Locker. So this is a quick segue, but I really do think it emphasises the point. On this map, I went all the way on the outside, taking time out of the game, not getting any kills. However, by the time I reached the C objective and I was behind them, not only were they not expecting it, allowing me to rack up many kills, it also really assisted my team, who were in a little bit of stalemate with the opposing side, not managing to get on C. So I think this clip just really drives home the point of the importance of flanking and not getting tunnel vision. So as you can see on screen now, our first attempt onto D was unsuccessful. Now this is where it becomes a little bit subjective, but you have to weigh up your options. Do I go back to D or do I join my team pushing onto C? What was the resistance like on D? How much were they expecting me? In this scenario, there's two of us communicating as a squad, me and my friend Michael, although admittedly there were other members in our squad, and I felt that I could go back to D and take that successfully. As predicted, as you can see again on screen now, a lot of these enemies were sniping, not really expecting the push. This tip or trick is a little bit harder to break down into a simple statement, however, you get used to it over time. The biggest friend you have in this game is your minimap, and this is when you can get an idea of the pace of the game and where the opponents are looking. A lot of people don't use suppressors, they pop up on the minimap, and it also in this game tells you their direction. So you have an idea of where the opponent is looking and how many opponents roughly are on an objective. Before we move any further guys, on to more tips. If you have been enjoying the content and finding it helpful, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you can keep up to date with future tips and tricks videos and gameplay commentary. So at this point in the game, we've pushed back onto D, and this is where the kills really start racking up. When watching the following gameplay, I'd like you to focus on my positioning and also my use of equipment. In addition, some of the tips that I've talked about before around getting easy kills and going for the flanks do appear in this gameplay, so see if you can spot them. I'm going to leave a timer in the top left so you know how long the gameplay is. If you want to skip ahead and not watch the gameplay and just go straight back into the tips and tricks, I will be analysing it. But I think it's helpful for you to watch it as raw footage, see if you pick up on anything, and then at the end we can discuss what I'm seeing and see if it matches up with your thoughts. Well, it's 2 on 2 now.
I got guys with me. In the back.
Yeah, recon beacon, recon beacon. Recon beacon's down.
Okay.
We got it, we got it. Give a little flank, man.
Yeah.
I'm on you, I'm on you.
He's in the stairwell.
Whoa, there's a guy up top, there's a guy up top. I've got to run. I'm too low.
Second floor as well.
Fucking hell, man.
Why didn't this guy?
Shit, they got a recon beacon up here. That's how they're getting on.
Going up.
Okay, I got him. I got a couple. Coming up, Michael!
Oh, there's 4 in there.
4?
Here's your med kit. Pick it up.
Oh, there's so many that way.
Yeah, I'm okay. I can't get you, but you might be able to spawn on.
There's all over there.
Soldier spotted.
God, I'm dead. I've got no bullets.
I'm on you.
Michael, we're fucked. I've only got a pistol, man. I've only got a pistol and a dream. Oh, God. When you bring your health, you need fucking ammo. When you bring your ammo, you need fucking health. It's just sod law, isn't it? There's so many swarming D, man. So that was a fair length of a clip. So there's quite a lot to dissect and digest there. But I think one of the things I said at the beginning is look at the positioning. What you'll notice in that gameplay around D is that I never stayed on the same level or same side of that building too long. You need to be keeping agile and on the move. Staying in the same position might get you a few kills, but you can guarantee the enemy that you just killed will be coming straight back to that position where you were to kill you. If you're still in that position, it just gives them such an advantage that they just don't need to have. Whereas if you change and switch up your positioning all the time, you keep them guessing and you might be able to get them from the side, making the engagement a lot easier. At least you'll get the first shots off or even kill them before they have a chance to react. So I think summarising that into a tip is keep agile and on the move when in enclosed spaces, especially like these buildings. Don't make yourself very, very predictable. So another thing I wanted you to focus on was my use of equipment. Now you'll notice from this clip now, I chuck my medkit down before I take this engagement. Now this primarily applies to the medic, but also having ammo when going into battle is important, obviously. But it seems intuitive, but I don't see people do it. When you're about to take a large engagement, I knew I was going to take a lot of damage here. I chucked the medkit down immediately before I even took any damage. The reason for this is if you chuck the medkit down when you're on 10 health, it only starts healing you, obviously, when you're at 10 health. Whereas you chuck it down immediately, as soon as I took a bit of damage, went to 90 health, it starts healing me. As soon as I went to 80 health, it starts healing me. Whereas, as I said, if you chuck it down when you're on like 2 health, at that point, it's already a little bit too late. So I think drawing this into a concise tip is make sure you're utilising your equipment to the best of its ability. Very simple and concise, but you need to be thinking ahead of the game on this one. Don't allow the enemy to get you to 2 health before you decide to shut down the medkit. I also asked you to see if anything played out from tip 1 about catching enemies off guard, and I hope you notice a lot of these people around D had snipers equipped or just weren't ready for that engagement whatsoever, weren't even looking at the stairs in some scenarios. And again, it goes back to that phrase that going for long-term flanks will result in short-term losses for long-term gains. These kills are a lot easier to get because they just aren't expecting that. You don't have to go Rambo making every single fight an effort and a chore. Some fights can just be a quick one and done if you're making tactical decisions about your positioning on the map. So drawing to conclusion, if you remember at the start of this game, we were getting absolutely pummeled. We only had the A objective, and now by the end, we're almost spawn camping them. And this is something I would observe, is that your actions in game do have consequences in other areas of the map. Us going to capture D wasn't necessarily successful in capturing D the first time round. But what it did do is draw enemy troops away from the C objective to D to hold, which then allowed our team to capitalise on that and capture C. From there, more of the troops are at D, and at that point we're all over E, basically spawn camping them. So your actions can affect the whole game outcome, even if it isn't successful, like capping the objective you originally tried to capture, because it might have impacts in other areas of the map. So I think that about wraps it up for this video. Obviously there's loads of more tips and tricks out there around communication. You might have heard it in the clip, me and Michael communicating, utilising vehicles correctly and so on. But I thought this was a good start. Leave in the comments if there's anything you particularly want to learn in Battlefield 4, and I'll be sure to make it an episode in the Battlefield 4 Tactician series. If you are looking to improve more so, I have put together a console edition on how to improve your aim and some of the weapons that I think are the strongest in this game at the moment and for the foreseeable future, as there's no more updates obviously. But also if you're looking for something a little bit more casual, I got 57 kills on Nashar Strike, so you can go and have a look at that. There's some fun moments in there for sure. But if not, thanks for stopping by the channel, and yeah, everybody, I hope you have a great day.